Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our illustrious Halloween show. That's right. It's Halloween, so
Yes.
It's time to dress up as all the pagan saints used to do before they banned the witches at the stake. So, Christopher, how are you tonight?
I'm doing okay. It's Halloween. What can I say?
You sound a little muffled.
Yeah, that's the downside of wearing these masks.
It's the downside of the Down syndrome, I should say.
I should say so. Everything's got a price to pay.
It's so true indeed.
But I can't say it's a bad look.
No, it's a good look.
Yeah, it looks all right. You look.
I like the little Michael Jackson hair.
Yeah, it's got the little side
I know,
strands
it's very
here.
good, man.
It's all right. I feel like a Pollyanna before she puts on her makeup.
No, you definitely have.
And you've got a nice little
Joker
schnoz
essence
here
going on. There's no question about it.
It's nice. It's interesting that you're a pig tonight. I had some pig on my chicken sandwich
Did
tonight.
you? Yeah,
I had a little bacon. It might have been your cousin.
I'm just bringing home the bacon, baby. That's it. That's
Yeah.
all I can do. All right, so that's right. It's Halloween. I really don't want to wear these masks all through the show, though. Do you, Chris?
No, I probably the least thing that I want to do.
Okay, so there you go.
We got to do something, I guess, huh?
So tonight's show, we're going to be talking about. It's kind of a different format for us.
Well, it's kind of a return to what we used to do back in the beginning of
Back in the
Film
days.
Banter.
Back in the
I'd
old
say the
days.
first year and a half, we
Correct.
generally just kind of, we each go see one movie in the theater maybe, and then we would each watch a bunch of things on our own without really aligning our choices. So we would just, what did you watch this week? Oh, I watched this. And then we would have our list. And we would just go back and forth like that.
It's more back to things that we want to watch.
Instead of things that we're forced to watch.
As opposed to things that, and this will be kind of cool because there's a zillion movies out there that we've never really talked about, and maybe we have talked about them before.
Or maybe just
give it
in
a fresh
passing.
look.
Yeah, I agree.
Just to give it a fresh look, just to give it a new aspect that's a little more fun for us, just to not go into the movies and reviewing Aladdin and The Lion King.
Or,
and stuff that who the hell wants? You
some
wanna,
crappy...
Listen, you want to go see, you want reviews of those movies? Go to imdb.com. You'll get them all, and you'll get thousands of people.
Instead of us forcing our hand to watch, the newest Netflix, so movie, we can actually start watching things that we want to see.
We want to watch these things.
From the beginning, I've been telling, there's so many things that I want to watch, but I can't because I got to watch a bunch of crap to this show.
It ain't right.
So we're going to do a return to form.
We're going to do a return.
For me, it's going to be a kind of a focus for a while now. Is just the movies I've never seen, things that I've been putting on the back burner that I want to watch, and I will be reviewing them.
I did a lot of returning to films. But
I want to do that also.
I did do a couple films, of course. There's 4 films of this week that I haven't seen.
You're
before.
doing 4. I'm doing just 3.
Well, I'm doing.
You threw in an extra.
Well, I'm doing The Lighthouse. I'm doing.
Oh yeah, we both saw The Lighthouse this week.
We saw The Lighthouse, which is our opening film tonight.
Exactly. We both watched this movie called Trick.
In the theater, we watched a film called Trick, which is a little horror Halloween kind of film.
And that's a streaming film.
And that is a streaming film. So if you've got a urination problem, you'll be able to stream that one. Exactly.
Yeah.
So there you go, and that's that, folks. And then we have our other surprise films.
We haven't discussed with each other what
Chris
the
doesn't
other
know what
films
I
are.
have, and he doesn't. I don't know what he has. No, this is so much fun.
It's entertaining.
It is entertaining, and it's also great fun.
Yeah. So for you guys, you get to sit there and hopefully digest and enjoy the things we're going to be talking about.
It is our Halloween show.
So
we did the mass commitment. We're done with that. It's over.
Done with that.
So
yeah, just for for the sake of saying it, this is episode 136.
Yeah, right.
Not too shabby.
It's
and it's the 29th of
it is the
October
29th
2019.
Of October, Tuesday. It is 2 nights from Halloween.
Yeah, 2 nights. So tomorrow night is Mischief Night.
You be out
or Goosey Night.
You be out TPing your neighbors.
I have actually
cars.
not done that since high school. I think I did it once. I was never about that. I was all about just going trick-or-treating. I was never out causing mischief. I think one year we did some toilet paper.
Can you remember any of the costumes that you ever wore?
Oh, yeah, I probably can remember almost all of them.
Really?
Yeah. Some of my most favorites were middle school. I went as Darkman. the year The Dark Man came out, 91. I was very
Sam Raimi
into
film
that
with
film.
Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson. That was
There you
my
go.
introduction to Liam Neeson.
Okay.
Even though I
Me
knew
too.
he did many things, but that was his first real big leading role, I think.
Rob Roy was before that.
No. Rob Roy was 95.
Was it?
Yeah. Dark Man was 91.
Oh, okay.
So this was the big film he did before Schindler's List, where everything
Well, he
changed
was
for
in
him.
Excalibur, but
That was in the 80s, but he wasn't the lead.
No, he wasn't.
No, this was a big break for him in terms of profile, getting a high-profile
Exactly.
role.
No.
But I also went as a gorilla one year, which was a lot of fun. I had a whole costume.
Like a guerrilla warfare?
No, gorilla meaning
Like Gorilla My Dreams. Okay.
Yeah, it was fun.
Gotcha.
I had what other was some noteworthy ones? I went as Destro from G.I. Joe one year.
Destro?
Yeah, that's more my generation. Destro was one of the main villains of the G.I. Joe cartoon.
Destro.
I even bicked my head, and I had all silver face paint.
Really?
It looked pretty good. My grandmother
bit your head?
Bicked with a bick.
Oh,
I literally shaved it to the skin, and because his character wore a metal helmet.
Oh, wow.
I just covered my face in silver face paint.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I did
Kind
that.
of like the Mad Max Fury Road.
Kind of, in a little bit like that.
Going to Valhalla.
One guy, though, we had gone out to a bar that year. I think it was when I was in college I did that costume.
Right.
We went out to a bar, and one guy said to me, "Hey, are you Bicentennial Man?" That terrible,
that horrible Robin Williams.
So
Well,
I
you
thought that
could've
was
been-
pretty funny.
That was pretty
Yeah.
funny.
But yeah, I've had some good costumes,
Okay.
but I haven't
Very
had
good.
I really haven't done a costume for a few years now.
I remember once going as a girl.
Oh,
And
that
a
should have
lot
been
of
natural
people-
for you.
And a lot of people had no idea that it was me.
That's pretty good.
Even though all I wore was a wig and this and then. And
You didn't
then
have your
when-
mustache back then, obviously.
Obviously not. Well,
Unless
maybe
you were
I did.
a woman afflicted with...
No, I did not.
The upper lip
just,
hair.
Yeah, that white trash kind of look. No, I remember being a girl one year, and I went around trick or treating by myself. And as I would leave the person's home, I would tip the wig, and go, "Okay, thank you, Mrs. Nelson.
Oh, that's
thank
funny.
you, Mr. Heyman. Thank you, this." And I
Yeah,
tip,
yeah.
and they go, "Oh, it's you."
Now, Mr. Heyman, was that your friend Ida's
That
father?
was Ida's dad. Yeah,
Nice.
absolutely.
Little
Ida,
throwback there?
Ida's not listening tonight. Ida has better things to do.
Yeah.
So, but there you go. But yeah, it was great
Cool.
fun.
Halloween's a lot of fun. I always enjoyed
was
it.
a lot of fun.
I always enjoyed when the kids would come to the door, you give them the candy, and you see the
Absolutely.
costumes. And yeah, it's just a lot of fun. It's how often you get the opportunity to dress up, you know?
Very true.
It's fun, but
very
you know,
true.
when you're in college, you have, and you're past going trick or treating, but
Oh, no.
you still want to dress up. You and
No,
your
you'd rather
friends,
stay,
we can go to the
in your dorm
bar.
room and have sex and get drunk.
Well,
and,
that too, but
that's pretty much.
but
all.
these days, we're in our busy lives.
We're in
we
our
don't
busy
have time to.
But I
to
do
go.
like the fact that the world has given grace to all people
No,
in
it's
all
great.
walks of life
I love
to
that.
go
Yeah.
to be a different character. I mean,
Yeah,
in
it's
banks,
fun.
you see people in
Yeah.
banks, you see people at supermarkets, people all over the country doing just in whatever job they may have. Maybe a business
And
executive
they
going
do-
in as Dracula.
I think that's
today.
fun.
I think it's a cool. I think it's
It
a
is.
cool.
It's a
great
nice
little
escape
idea.
from the norm.
It's a little
We get to
allowance.
be a kid again.
Exactly.
I haven't been to a Halloween party in a couple of years because that was the last time I dressed up. I went as Bob Ross. That was fun. I had the whole Afro wig and everything.
Oh, okay.
Bob Ross, the painter. You know who Bob Ross is?
I do
He used to have a
vaguely
PBS
recall.
show.
Yeah, he did.
He's become kind of like a.
Icon.
Icon,
Kind of a
yeah,
guy.
a little
well, originally there was a guy back in my day called John Nagy. And John Nagy was the same kind of guy. Hi, I'm
fun.
John Nagy. And he had a big pastel canvas behind
That's cool.
him. And he would paint and he'd show you how to paint. And he
Great.
would talk to you. Well, and now I'm going to put a little shading. And by the end of it, you were blown away.
Yeah.
He would have like a mountain range
Yeah, yeah,
with
yeah.
a deer and maybe a horse over there. It was really, really cool stuff.
Bob Ross's thing was
Very
that
good.
he'd always have like a great painting, and then he'd be like, maybe we just need a nice big happy tree right here, or
There
big.
you go.
He would like ruin it, like all
Oh,
these
really?
trees. But then he would bring it all around, and it would look good at the
I know,
end.
the old arc.
But for a while,
The
you
arc
think,
of
like, oh my
mystery.
God, you're ruining it. He was
Yeah.
a big landscape painter. That was
Was
like
he?
most of what he did.
Well, John Nagy, same thing. I mean, you
Yeah.
know, and he was he had a little beard and mustache,
Yeah.
and I think he just had a mustache. I don't think he had a beard.
Okay.
And he had kind of fuzzy hair, kind of the same kind of thing as Bob Ross, possibly.
Yeah.
But he was a graying guy. But I remember John Nagy well, and he also had his John Nagy art thing, and you could buy it at the store.
Of
John
course.
Nagy art supply
Supplies,
thing,
yeah.
and the paint set and the whole bit. It was kind
That's
of a
cool.
kick. Yeah, it was fun.
Great.
All right.
All right. Well, let's get to the show, I suppose.
Why don't we get to it?
We're going to start with.
Wait.
What?
I feel the room changing from color into black and white.
Ooh, I should put some nice music.
Oh, exciting! Yes, some nice music might be very
Hang on.
helpful.
It's This one must be this one.
I think it might be that
there we
one.
go.
There you go.
All right, so we are going to do.
Here we go with the Lighthouse.
You may have heard of this film, The Lighthouse. It is a very interesting film. It's made by the same director from a film you might have seen a couple years ago called The Witch. His name is Robert
I saw
Eggers.
The Witch. It was well done.
Yeah, it was a well done film.
This creepy, but it wasn't anything.
It wasn't
great.
it wasn't super horror-esque.
No.
Had some moments. This is really more than anything a psychological drama about these two guys. Literally the whole movie, it's just Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe together in a lighthouse, slowly kind of going mad over the course of, an hour and 45 minutes.
Hour and 58 minutes.
58 minutes. And that's just these two guys trapped together. There's really no other actors in the film.
No.
It's in black and white.
Horrible black and white, if I may say.
It takes place.
It's not a full contrast black and white. It's a very gray, lack of contrast.
And it's not a full frame picture.
Not a full frame. This is exactly how it looks in the theater.
Yeah, there's black on the sides.
You have black on the sides. It's more like a Kodachrome print.
Well, that was by
it's
design.
Square.
They used the cameras from the 1800s.
Obviously.
In the early 1900s.
Oh, boy.
So this is a film that was shot in black and white by design. It's got this claustrophobic feel. It takes place, like I said, in the 1890s.
I dreaded seeing it.
You didn't want to see it.
I dreaded going to see this film.
I will say right off the bat that this is not a movie for everybody.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, the audience might not know that. You might know that, but they don't know
I
that.
do know that.
It's a tough movie to sit through.
I don't know if this is a film for anybody.
Let
me be blunt.
I kind of got a little restless at times.
Oh, really?
This, more than anything, the takeaway, it's a performance film because they're both marvelous. They're both excellent. They both give really excellent performances, commanding performances in this film. I think they have a good chemistry together. They're both slowly going mad and getting at each other's wits. However, with that said, I don't know if I could ever sit through this movie again. It's a tough one.
I had a tough time sitting through it the first
tough
time.
movie.
I almost got up to leave in I'd say about 20 minutes into it.
Yeah,
you sit down at this film.
It's a rough one.
You sit down at this film. You are faced immediately with the fact that you are going to be watching a cropped film throughout. The contrast in the film is not Eraserhead, or it's not your beautiful black and white like Goodbye, Good Night, and Good Luck.
Or Schindler's List,
beautiful. Well, not just Schindler's List. Also, the
one
Coen Brothers film was kind of a silvery film. That was
Billy Bob Thornton.
Billy Bob. That was called.
That was the man
Johansson.
who. Yeah, wasn't the man who knew too little or something?
No, it wasn't.
No,
man
who knew too much.
The man. No, that's a Hitchcock.
Oh, that's
doesn't matter. Anyway,
it's something like that.
Let's talk about this movie though for a second here. I'm going to say this: in a year's time, in a month's time, this film is going to be pretty much forgettable to the people who have seen it. It's not going to be nominated for anything. There's not going to be, if anything, maybe Willem Dafoe for over the top.
I think it's going to have performance nominations.
Oh, not one. I think this film will be completely, totally, 100% ignored by everyone.
You think so?
I do. I really do.
I don't know.
Now, I'm not saying I
Dafoe might get a nomination.
I doubt it. Only because his performance, he only has one or two moments where he goes a little over the top. He goes into kind of a Shakespearean rant or an Iliad, Homer type, rant of the old days and the old pirates kind of a talk. And he's an Irish brogue of a guy kind of a thing. Of course, here he is, our apprentice, who shows up at the lighthouse to apprentice under Willem Dafoe. The previous lighthouse apprentice died mysteriously. We're not quite sure how he died. But so it's basically this. There's the dominating character right here, and then we have our Robert Pattinson. And let me just say this about Robert Pattinson. I mean, you can say what you will about this man. He is our new Batman. He's just fantastically brooding. He's just got a great, almost a Brando-esque kind of
he's really come a long way since the Twilight films.
Turmoil. I don't think so. I think he came very quickly to a place that was far more greater than the Twilight films.
No, I'm saying he's come a long way, meaning that we're really seeing the kind of actor he can be. Twilight was a disservice to him.
No, I'm just saying that no, he was fine in those films, but I'm just saying almost immediately, the first even couple films that he was in, I feel he was fantastic right off the bat. I don't think it's been a long time coming for him. I think he's always been a great actor, but now he's getting, I mean, But I have to hand it to, let's talk about Kristen Stewart for a moment, who was his cohort in the Twilight films.
Yeah.
His beautiful
She's
little
come a long way, too.
Juliet. She's fantastic.
She's really
too.
good, yeah.
I'm surprised she's doing Charlie's Angels, kind of a
Well, you got to do a paycheck movie.
little paycheck movie every now and then.
Because she's done basically mostly a bunch of indies.
Most of indies.
Most
She
of
was
what
in
she's
that
done.
Great little film, the Shopper's
Personal
Assistant.
Shopper.
Personal Shopper. Love that
She
film.
did
Great
the
movie.
Kerouac film where she was on the road.
On the Road, yeah.
She did,
That was not a good film.
It was okay.
But she also did.
She's done a bunch of stuff.
She did Lizzie.
Lizzie was very good.
Great little film there.
She
takes chances.
She does.
She's got a very. You could almost see where they would be a good boyfriend and girlfriend, which they were, because they both have this.
Yeah, and then they broke
maybe
up.
not though, because they're both so introspective and so quiet people inside.
Well, she, cheated on him with the director of that Snow White movie.
That Snow White and the Huntsman.
Yeah, so that was a big career, commercial film for her, I guess. Yeah.
Well, sure.
But most of what she's done has been a lot of
listen,
indies.
when you're offered a film, you
Gotta
take
do
that
it.
film
Yeah, I
and you got to
understand.
do it, and
Pays the bill, so you can do the indies.
Absolutely, absolutely. But I can't say I like this movie. I mean, I really, it was just torture. As I sat down to watch it, and all I could think to myself was, it's an hour and 58 minutes long. Therefore, okay, I'm already 10 minutes in. Now I'm computing exactly what time. Okay, leave about 7-8 minutes possibly for end credits. So I'm figuring, okay, I'm going to walk out the door about 3:42. Okay, fine. Of course, I'm always right on the money. I always predict this almost to the fucking second. Pardon my French.
You should get a job as a timekeeper
for bad films, because that's what I thought this was. And I said to myself, that's the last time Chris Picard picks the movie that we go see that week.
I didn't pick it.
You picked it.
I said I want to go see it.
I want to see this movie. Well, okay. Next time I will pick the film that we go see. Because
I just assumed that you were going to see this movie anyway.
No, I didn't want to see this.
It's a big movie.
It's not a big movie.
Yes, it
This
is.
a small. Oh yeah, let's look at the box office.
I'm not talking box. I'm talking
is not
about
a big
prominent film that's getting a lot of word of mouth. It's
No,
getting
it's not.
off the charts reviews.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Maybe the review.
The critics love this movie.
Maybe those 5 or 6 guys at the critics ball. I'm sure they.
This
do.
movie,
But
any
it's not a bad
film person has been looking forward to this movie. You're the exception.
No. I'm not saying it's a bad film. It's not a bad film.
No, it's not.
It's
It's not a film I'll watch again, probably.
Oh,
but I think it has merit. I think
was-
it's an interesting film to go see. I think it's.
Oh, it was
I love the
torturous.
performances in this film. I just love watching it. To watch the
He grabs
craft
a
of
gull.
actors.
He grabs a
acting.
seagull out of the air and smashes it.
Yes, he
I
does.
could not.
Well, I
even
knew you
look
wouldn't
at
like that scene.
Well, of course not. It was
But
horrible.
I knew it wasn't a real seagull, so I didn't care.
This movie, it really goes nowhere quickly. But I do applaud the big David Lynch ending. Big David Lynch ending there.
There was, yeah.
Facial.
Lot of weird stuff at the end.
A lot of weird stuff. Big David Lynch ending for me. Absolute. I like the black and white. I like the concept. That to me was the only redeeming thing about this film. I think it's totally forgettable. I think in a year from now, I'm going to mention the film to you. All you're going to think about is these two guys just constantly bantering back and forth, just like you and me.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just going back and forth for this hour and 58 minutes. Oh my God.
Honestly, though, I'm not going to ever forget this movie. I'm not saying that because it was like greatest movie I ever saw.
No.
But the movie left its mark in a way. That to me, it's a unique film.
It's just a
I've
great
never
film.
seen a film like this with this kind of there's a claustrophobic element to it that you want to
is.
get out. There's this
You wanna get out, all
constant
right.
tension between these two
Oh,
guys.
I wanted to get out.
No, I liked it too as a window into a period of time in our history. There are people that lived through this, 1890s Lighthouse Keeper. That's based in historical truth. That these things existed. These people did this kind of thing. And
No doubt there.
I've never seen a film about Lighthouse Keepers before that I can remember. It's got to be, they should call this movie is Miserable Job. What a miserable life Pattinson has in this movie. I would not want that job.
It's a tough film to watch.
It is a
Ladies
tough
and
film to
gentlemen,
watch.
It's
I
very
agree
tough
with you.
to sit through.
But the
Even
filmmaker-
at my home, I probably would have
The
walked out.
filmmakers did their job.
I would have
made
walked
us
out of my own home.
feel something.
Having put this on the screen. It's just, it's boring as hell. There's very little.
It's slow.
There's
I
very
agree.
little. There's very little drama. There's very little friction between our two characters.
Why? I think the whole movie's friction between
No,
these
not
two
at all.
guys.
No. We basically have
They're
Robert
constant at
Pattinson
odds.
is the subliminal. He's a
subservient kind of a
he's
guy.
the subservient. He's the depressed. He's the underneath.
He's the slave.
So we have
for lack of a better term.
Willem Dafoe, the master of the Lighthouse,
Yeah.
the master of the light, if
Yeah.
you will, and he is just the domination. And so we have this very downtrodden performance by Robert Pattinson. It's a good performance, and Willem is good too. I just didn't find it interesting at all. I found nothing about it that makes me, and as I say, the true test of any film is, do I want to see it again? I don't want to see this film again. I don't want to see
I agree.
it
I
again.
said that myself. I don't know if I watched it. But it doesn't mean that I'm going to discard it. It's in here, and that's about it. You know,
well, push it out because you have other films to watch.
Of course,
you have other films that. But I will say, Robert is good. There was a very attractive woman sitting next to me. I swear she was just there for Robert Pattinson. Somebody probably told her, "Oh, Robert drops his pants at one particular," and he does. You know, there's some scenes of some nudity there,
maybe, but I don't see anything else.
No, that's it.
Yeah,
I think that's why she was there, because she just seemed out of place in this theater.
To see him rubbing one out in one scene.
Yeah, there was one scene there where he was.
The gross part was got to empty the chamber pots. Ugh.
Oh my God!
I'm like, don't they have outhouses back then? Why chamber pot? You know, but I guess that was...
no, they were upstairs, and they have to shit and piss into this pot.
Yeah, but I thought, wouldn't there be an outhouse as well, you know?
And he goes out into this thing where he's got to stir the...
No, of course, disgusting.
Why not? You got an ocean right there. Why not just heave it in the ocean? Who gives a damn?
It's true. You could have.
It's just organically going to
Yeah, I agree.
disintegrate. What's the big deal? The rain and everything? I mean, I would probably just walk out and... sit my ass down and do what I have to do.
Defecate on a rock.
I defecate on a rock, and there's nothing more stupid than a monkey on a rock. And I think we can move on.
Let's move on.
Yeah, this movie did nothing for me.
You can wait till video. You get the exact same effect.
Don't even wait for video. You don't need to get an effect from this film. It's just a bore. It's a bore fest.
All right, we move on.
Let us move on.
To Trick. Film that is now streaming on all the major streaming platforms.
Yeah, we got.
For Halloween, it's a good choice. I like that poster, by the way. It's really good.
I like the whole essence of this film.
I'll be honest with you. I enjoyed this film too.
Starts right off.
Yeah.
It kicks
some
right
really
in.
good deaths.
A lot of good
violent.
stuff.
This is a violent film.
Well, we have a Halloween party right at the beginning, and
within 5 minutes.
Within 5 minutes, everybody's dead.
This guy, it's a Halloween party, but he's dressed up, and this guy's dressed in this mask. He's Trick, and he kills a bunch of people.
Right. And he goes on killing a bunch of people, and he's got that mysterioso kind of Mike Myers from Halloween, where no matter how even you think he's dead, he's dead. No, he's still alive. He's over there. And I did like the conceptual. This guy, of course,
Omar Epps plays a detective that's brought in to help.
Omar used to be in House with.
Yes, he's been in a lot of
the
stuff.
House television show. Of course.
So yeah, he comes in to help the local sheriff, this female sheriff, try to solve this crime.
Yeah,
and he becomes obsessed with it. And the movie jumps from 2015 to 2019, and every year we see the Halloween 16, 17, 18, 2019, and it's just they keep thinking this guy's dead, but people keep dying on Halloween.
Correct.
So yeah, it was interesting. I enjoyed this movie.
It's an hour and 42 minutes, which is a bit long for your standard horror thriller.
But it's an easy watch.
Usually they're about an hour and a half, almost relentless, almost constant. But I like the film. It's beautifully shot.
Well done. It was by the director of My Bloody Valentine.
There you go.
He also
not a great film.
No, he also did that movie with Nicolas Cage and Amber Heard, Drive.
I love that movie.
He also did Dracula 2000.
I love Drive.
He's a writer of all those as well. He also was one of the co-writers of the last Terminator, the one Genesis.
Oh, God.
Which I didn't see.
Well, that I would take off my credit
I would take that off too.
This guy's very good.
Omar Epps was good in this. I believed him.
I mean, there's an ending though that it's a
Jamie Kennedy though.
Unbelievable. Jamie Kennedy. I wish he would just stay
he's
with
really
his.
Not that great.
He's more in those. What are those movies with Kevin Bacon started? Tremors. Remember the Tremors?
He's in those.
Yeah,
although he's not coming back for the newest one.
He's not coming back for number 7, I believe. Yeah, they finally. I guess even Jamie has a limit. I'm not a big Jamie Kennedy fan, although I did love his show. He had a prank show.
I remember that show.
Back in the day.
The Jamie Kennedy Experiment or Experience?
Correct.
Yeah.
Experiment. Also, now I saw on Netflix last night, the little guy with the funny mouth from Stranger Things now has a new prank show.
Oh.
And it's kind of funny. And
Well, which guy from Stranger Things though? There's a bunch of
the guy with the bad teeth, and he kind of looks like this, and he's got the little beady eye.
Not the chubbier kid.
yeah, the chubby. Little
Oh,
guy.
him. The guy he's doing commercials and
Yeah,
stuff.
he's doing
oh,
the
him,
Verizon
okay.
commercials.
Yeah, his name is like something Italian. Matarazzo or something. Yeah.
Exactly. And he's now doing a
Oh,
prank
is he?
show on Netflix. He's good. He's okay.
Yeah, well,
he's
you
a
know.
very smart guy. There's no question about it.
Yeah.
He's got a very
I think
good...
that whole cast is great.
I love the
They
cast.
all seem like they're
No, it's got a
good kids, good
if
head
they
on their
could just
shoulders.
cross over to It. They ought to just put the clown from It and Stranger Things and some of the Stranger Thing monsters and the It films. And,
Why not?
And just have all the kids meet somewhere in the middle. I
Well,
think
the one kid who's getting the
that'd be
most
a
work,
kid.
Finn Wolfhard, he's got a horror film coming out soon called The Turning.
Finn Wolfhard.
His name is Finn Wolfhard.
There's already a movie called The Turning from 2013 with Rose Byrne.
This one is just called. Oh, maybe this one's just called Turning.
There you go.
But it's with what's her name, Mackenzie
Phillips?
Davis, who is the star of the new Terminator. She's the female Terminator.
Oh, okay.
Her.
Okay.
She was in Blade Runner
Wow.
2049.
Oh, there you go. Right.
We're getting off track. But no, I recommend
like
it.
this.
It's
Loads
a
of
pretty
fun.
cool little
Violent
movie.
as hell.
Very violent.
Really good. Good reds.
Felt
and-
like a Scream movie in a way.
kind of in a way.
Yeah, which
I
Jamie
mean,
Kennedy obviously was in, but
Yeah, he was
it kind of
indeed.
felt like that a little bit.
Yeah, but I liked it.
Me too.
I did.
I was
like it.
surprised.
I liked the first two Scream films, and then from then on, it was just it was
Yeah, I
downhill.
agree. The 3 was okay.
Was it?
Yeah, and then they even did that last one,
They
which
did the
was
series.
just all right.
They had a series on
Never
television.
watched the series.
Never either did I. I think it was on MTV or.
But the
VH1
first one was
or-
the best.
The first one was great with what's her name?
You have Campbell, you have Courtney Cox,
yeah,
David Arquette.
right.
Well, they were in all
Nev.
of them.
I love Nev Campbell.
Yeah.
I wish she'd do some more acting.
Yeah, she hasn't been around in a while.
Yeah, we were talking about Selma
Loved her in
Blair.
Wild Things.
Oh, she was great in that.
Great movie.
Oh my God.
Loved that film.
That was a great little movie.
My
Matt
dad
Dillon,
likes
of
that movie
course.
a lot.
And, well, why shouldn't
Yeah,
he? My God.
he loves what's her name in that movie, Denise
Oh,
Richards.
Sure, Denise.
Woo!
You know, Denise is also in Starship Troopers.
She is.
And there's a scene in the outtakes that is rather nudity oriented, where she does some.
Was that the scene where they're all taking a shower together?
No. That may have been in the one with Casper Van Diem, but
Well, that first
no.
one she was in was the other one she was in, right? I don't remember her being
Correct.
the other one.
No, she
Actually,
wasn't in any-
I never saw any of the ones.
I saw them all, and they were all pretty horrible. And Casper was in all but I think he was in the first two, but he wasn't in the third.
Oh.
Right, he might have come back for
I
the
thought he
fourth.
came back.
I think he came back for the fourth. He was not in the third, then he came back for the fourth, because they said, Casper, without you, we're nothing, and so he said, okay.
Yeah, he's
But,
from our area, too. He's from Ridgewood, New Jersey.
No kidding.
Yeah.
With Ethan Hawke is, too.
He's from Ridgewood? I didn't know
Yes.
that. Is he really?
Ethan Hawke,
I didn't
Ridgewood,
know,
New Jersey.
I didn't know he was from Ridgewood.
Yeah, absolute.
That's cool. I
Absolute.
didn't know that.
No. He was very proud of that fact. And
had no idea.
back in the day of Robin Williams, Goodwill Hunt, not Goodwill
Yes.
Hunting. No, what's the
Oh,
one?
Dead
He's
Poets.
the teacher. Yeah, Dead Poets Society. That was Ethan's first film.
Oh, okay.
And
yeah.
that's how he,
Interesting.
and he brought some fame, and he said, in my hometown of Ridgewood.
Wow, that's pretty
They had
cool.
all kinds of cool.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I
They-
just thought
they
he was like a New
premiered,
Yorker
not
or something.
premiered, but they had the film at the Ridgewood Theater, which is a little
The
fourplex.
Warner Quad, now it's a
The
bow
Warner-
tie.
Is it? Is
Yeah.
it a what?
It's a bow tie cinema now. It was.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it used to be the Warner Quad
Yeah,
Theater
I remember.
for years.
Well,
And then when it became a bow tie.
what's
a
a
little
bow
over-
tie? I'm not even familiar with it. I've heard of them. But
Oh, bow tie, it's another chain.
Oh,
yeah, they're
just-
around here.
Are they?
Bow tie cinemas.
Okay. Cool. Well, we like this
Yeah,
film.
I agree. I
there's
really
not much to
enjoyed
really
Trick.
say about
I
it.
was
It's a
surprised at how
slasher
much I
film.
enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's a good little slasher film, though, and it's a kick.
Well done.
It's fun.
It's
Yeah,
fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's really good deaths.
Yeah,
good
it
deaths.
is. Okay.
Okay, so we'll move on.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're sitting at home. You don't know what's going on. That's right, here it is. The tactical taser, coming for anyone, any bit of prey who could possibly come to your home. There you are, you're sitting alone. Suddenly, you hear a sound at the door. Kids for UNICEF! Get rid of them! You don't need them around. That's right. They're anybody, anywhere you go. There you are, walking in the park. Suddenly, someone comes towards you. You don't know who it is. Maybe it's could be
Jehovah's Witnesses!
one of them.
Jehovah's Witnesses! Ow!
Get rid of them! That's right. And that's right. And one other thing, ladies and gentlemen. Suppose you don't happen to have your tactical taser with you. Suppose you're by yourself and another crazed maniac comes at you, fiercely, ready to pounce. There they are. Suddenly, it's
Seniors for Trump!
just
Seniors
pull
for
out
Trump!
your Glock and
Oh!
blow them away. That's right. Between the Glock, the tactical taser. Ladies and gentlemen, you've got it all down pat. Only $19.95.
All right, folks. Now we're gonna do what we were kind of teasing earlier. We're gonna each review some films we really wanted to see this week. I kind of just flew by the hip and decided to just kind of. Well, this is nice. Now I can actually speak for a second. I am going to first start out with. This is Broadcast News. It's a 1987 film by James L. Brooks, starring Holly Hunter, William Hurt, Albert Brooks, Jack Nicholson, although he does have a smaller part. This is I know you've seen this film probably, right? Yeah. Hey, quiet. So this film, I really enjoyed this movie. It's a perfect movie. It's a film that shows you the behind the scenes of how broadcast news works. This focuses on a young reporter played by William Hurt, who gets a job at a major network in D.C. He's very impressed with Holly Hunter, who's a producer. Hey, down. Just ignore him.
He's protecting me.
Oh, hey, not a hush. Hush. This is my time to talk here, buddy. This is your time to just grunt. But I really enjoyed this film. It's really well acted. We have an early role for Joan Cusack in this film. It really just, it's just a really watchable film. It's funny. It's dramatic. Albert Brooks really does a great job in this film, especially. He's this guy who's really brilliant. But he's never had a chance to really be a network anchor. He's never been an anchor. He's not the guy that's going to be headlining the news. He's the brilliant writer who brings these good stories, and that's where William Hurt comes in. He's the new hot anchorman that comes in. I can't understand a word you're saying.
It's more William Birchfield.
It is. No, he's the lead. But I really was impressed, especially with Albert Brooks in this film. He has a couple of moments towards the end that are actually almost heartbreaking. His character really kind of exposes how he's feeling.
What's up, Louis? Gonna eat that bear. Louis!
Stop. So I would recommend Broadcast News. You can watch it. It's on your streaming sites. I watched it on Amazon. I really have always enjoyed James L. Brooks' films. This film was one that I'd never really seen, and I just kind of was flipping through Amazon. I'm like, oh, I'm going to watch this. I was in the mood to watch this. And so I really enjoyed it, and I would really recommend it. If you like movies about the news, if you like movies about journalists, I think you really enjoyed Broadcast News. It was one of the big films in the Oscars of that year.
Yeah.
It was nominated across the board.
It was.
It didn't win.
It wasn't that good.
What? I thought it was a great film. Look at you made yourself
It
free.
was kind of a
good film.
You know what it was? It was Terms of Endearment Part 2.
Well,
That's
he
what
was
it
the
felt
same
like.
director.
I know.
It was. He didn't have that sappy, depressing ending, though.
Well,
This was. I thought this was what I liked too about this movie is that the ending wasn't predictable. You didn't know where it didn't go where you kind of thought it was going to go, which I liked. So I recommend Broadcast News. I liked it quite a bit. Would you like me to untie you so you can do a review?
Just don't tie me. Just don't tie me back here.
Get that off there. We'll get this off the back of your head here.
God.
Hang on.
Oh, that really hurt.
All right, there
The
we go.
arms
Let's
hurt.
get this out of
The
your
arms.
way. There you go. You're free, buddy.
Oh, God.
Oh, you made quite a little racket there.
Okay, so let's move.
So let's move on.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fine film.
It's a good film.
I just didn't like it because there's an alteration there with William Hurt that happens that kind of turns it all into a it takes it down a notch. I didn't like that. There are tears that happen that are obviously not.
Well, there's
legit.
there's kind of like
acting premise.
true colors kind of
Yeah.
show his character.
Yeah, lovely Joan.
Yeah, she was
Cusack.
great in this.
Oh my God!
Also has a great supporting role in this film by
I
Robert
did.
Prosky, who I love. He was the station manager.
I just had a Prosky exam.
You
Not long
did.
ago.
How did it go?
It was very painful.
All right. All right. So now we're
All
gonna
right,
do
so
your
there we
first
go.
film.
My first film. Is,
I have no idea what it is.
believe it's the
Let's
right?
see. What is it?
It's Machete.
Oh, Machete Kills.
Machete and Machete Kills.
Wow, it's a twofer.
I went back. That's right, ladies and gentlemen.
I never would have guessed this is what you're gonna
Two
do.
for one.
These are fun.
I'll tell you.
These are pure guilty
I went
pleasures.
back because I love Robert Rodriguez.
He's fun.
and he's getting a lot
I
of
agree.
notoriety lately because he just did
Alita Battle Angel.
Battle Angel, which I just love. So I wanted to go back and watch this film again because I just get such a kick out of Danny Trejo.
He's fun.
He's so much fun. This
I agree.
movie, the first one is dynamite.
It's great. The second one, not so good.
You know, the second one,
It's still fun.
It's still good, and has great cast. Got Mel Gibson is in there.
I love that's why he's the fun villain.
Amber Heard
Yeah.
is spectacular
Yeah.
in this movie.
It's fun.
She's the femme fatale.
She is.
And I love her. She has a big fight with Michelle Rodriguez, and forgive me, I'm going to say something a little off color, perhaps. Forgive me, my female audience, but at the very end, she has a fight with Michelle Rodriguez in Machete Kills. I love the machete. Machete don't text. Machete don't
That's
do
right.
this.
Machete don't text. That was
Machete
great.
just kill. I want you to do what you'd always do, Machete. Kill!
The second one also has a film debut by Lady Gaga.
Exactly. Was
Yeah.
that her film debut?
I believe so.
Very good.
And then she
You're
did American
probably
Horror
right.
Story after that.
There, you're right. And she's not great in the film, but she's
No.
okay.
She's in it for like
But,
5 minutes.
and I love little Jessica Alba in these films. You know,
Yeah. She's great.
She loses her life at the beginning of Machete Kills,
Yes.
but such is life. But anyway, Michelle Rodriguez, who, by the way, she gets shot in the eye.
Yes.
At the end of Machete.
Yes,
Machete.
yes.
And then in the second film, she gets shot in the other eye.
Oh, yeah.
She's totally blind. But Amber Heard, who is actually a part-time, she's a pageant queen.
Yes.
And she keeps winning these pageants, and she's working for whoever the head guy is. It wasn't Mel Gibson. It was somebody else.
I honestly don't
Doesn't
remember.
matter. Some Spanish.
Wasn't Charlie Sheen in the sequel as the president?
Yeah, he's the president of the Southern West Wing. It said.
Oh.
You know, because his dad, obviously, a little dad reference to West
Yeah,
Wing. But
of course.
So at the end, they show a little clip. It's just a little outtake. And you see Michelle Rodriguez, she's completely blind. She goes sliding towards Amber Heard, and she punches her right in,
Of course. We
right
know
in
where.
the vagina.
Yes.
So at the last scene we see at the very end of the film, I watched all the credits go by. The very last scene is Amber Heard said, "Hey, if you're gonna do a pussy punch, you gotta tell somebody you're gonna do it."
That's good.
It was great. It was.
So
just
these movies
funny.
are good fun.
They're great.
Which are obviously a
fun.
spin-off of the Grindhouse
Yeah.
films that Tarantino
Absolutely.
and Rodriguez
Of course.
did.
You know, the opening of the film, you see all the speckles and the
Yeah,
pops
yeah.
and coming attractions, that little trumpet.
I love that. That was great.
I love it too.
Me too.
But of course, at the beginning of Machete Kills, we have an opening, and at the end also of the first Machete, we see Machete Kills again in space.
And they still want to do it.
then they do. It's
He's
still-
teeth.
I know.
Trejo says, "I'll even direct it if I have
I
to."
wouldn't doubt it.
I'd love to see that movie.
Even if you go on IMDb and you go Machete Kills, you'll see 2020.
Yeah.
It says still pending.
Still
Machete
pending.
Kills again
Please,
in space.
I'd love to see that.
I would too.
Because I
It's
believe
so
in the
much
last one,
fun.
don't we see Mel Gibson's character going into space?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he has to go after him, and
Yeah.
he gets on a rocket, straps himself to a
Yeah,
rocket,
yeah,
and
yeah.
he
It's
takes off.
absurd.
But then he has to jump off, and
Yeah.
he goes into the lake or whatever. But, you know, the true star of this movie is Danny Trejo.
He's great,
He
yeah.
gets all the babes, all that
Yeah.
he wants, because he's so ugly,
Yeah.
he's beautiful.
Yes.
It's just that kind of a thing. And you love this guy.
He's a great guy in general,
He's just
too.
a great guy
Yeah,
in
I love
general.
him.
He's been in 9,000
Lot of
films. You know,
stuff.
him and Christopher Lee are way up there.
Yeah, yeah.
As far as film representations go, film appearances, but he's just a great
He's
guy.
great.
And Machete, don't do that. Machete, don't. But when Machete Kills, great stuff. The heads are
It's
rolling.
fun.
It's good.
Was it the second one where he slashes the guy's stomach open and grabs his intestines and jumps out
the
a window? That was great.
That was in the second.
That was
and he
great.
uses it,
Yeah.
as a rope,
Yeah,
so he
to
can
grapple
smash
down.
through a window in a lower
So
level.
fun.
Such a kick. And you know, once again, the second one, you know, it's just as long as the first. It's
yeah,
an hour
of
and
course.
43 minutes long.
De Niro
Great.
was in the first one.
He's in the first one.
Yeah.
He's a Donald Trump type guy.
Kind of, yeah.
Building a wall.
He's like a senator from Texas.
Exactly. Wants to build a wall, I believe maybe even New Mexico, but he wants to build a wall across Mexico.
Yeah.
And he just hangs out at the border with Don Johnson.
That's right.
And they just kill guys. Come on, you. Come on, yeah, enter our country, will you? Bomb, and he blows them
Yeah,
away.
yeah.
Of course, somebody films that, shows it later on a video cam at one of Robert De Niro's speeches as this
Yes,
politician
yes.
that he is. But it's just a kick. It's
It's
just
a
so much fun.
Two fun guilty pleasures.
Lindsay Lohan at the end
That's
has
right.
a machine gun. She's dressed in a nun garb.
That's right. Yeah.
You know, and what's his name? Who's the guy that played the? He's in all his films. Jeff. Is it Jeffrey?
Jeff Fahey?
Jeff Fahey.
Yes.
Yeah, he's in all his movies.
Yeah.
And he plays Lindsay Lohan's mom. No, Lindsay Lohan's dad.
Yeah.
And of course, his mom and Lindsay are always walking around naked. It's kind of a kid.
It was fun.
Then Danny has to kidnap them, and because Jeff Fahey is holding him hostage, so now he holds him hostage, and it just goes back and forth. But it's just great stuff, man. I loved it. I just felt in the mood to watch Machete. And it's just non-stop action, non-stop fun. If you got nothing to do,
I highly agree.
Saturday night, it's just a kick.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't help myself. I just said, I want more Machete. I must have more Machete. So I put on Machete
Very
Kills.
good.
And here we go.
Very entertaining.
Yeah, great stuff.
Cool. Yeah, no, it's fun. I should
Great
revisit
stuff.
those films too.
You really should. They're just
yeah,
so much
they really.
fun.
I saw them both in the theater.
Yeah, I did
Yeah.
too.
All right, so we're gonna move on to my. Oh, here it is, number 4. My next choice.
Wait, did you do number 3?
I did. That was my first. That was broadcast news. I
Oh,
did.
wait, what was number 2? Oh, Trick. Okay.
Trick, yeah.
You're right.
So now, drum roll. Body Heat, starring
Oh,
William Hurt
wow.
and Kathleen Turner.
What a great film.
The first film directed by Lawrence Kasdan,
Absolutely.
who was obviously the writer of
The writer and script writer
of Empire Strikes
Indiana
Back
Jones
and Jedi Indiana
Correct.
Jones.
And he directed Empire.
No, he didn't.
Didn't
No.
George?
No,
George?
no. George directed the first.
Right.
The second was Irvin Kershner, which was
correct.
That was one of George Lucas's professors in film school.
Interesting.
And the third was a Danish director named Richard Marquardt.
Yeah.
I believe.
Marquardt.
Marquardt, something like that.
Marquardt.
Yeah, but anyway, this film
This
I didn't
is
realize
a
this was the
dynamite film.
debut of Kathleen Turner.
I know.
Oh,
And somebody else.
Mickey Rourke.
Yes.
Early film for Mickey Rourke.
First film for Mickey.
I didn't know it was the first.
Introducing Mickey Rourke.
That's awesome.
Well, Governor.
He was great in this.
Governor, if you want me to do this, Governor.
Yeah.
He always
He's
called
great.
that. Yeah, yeah.
And William Hurt.
Look
this was,
at Kathleen
Yeah, she's
Turner.
beautiful in this
Kathleen
movie.
Turner always said, when I walk into a room and if a guy doesn't turn and look at me, he's gay.
That's funny.
And I believe her because
She's
she
a knockout
was
in this
a
movie.
knockout.
Yeah, in this movie, yeah.
She is Lauren Bacall reincarnated in
She
this
is.
film. She is so damn good.
This is a really great, not only a great movie, but great performance by both of them.
Absolutely.
They were both excellent.
What about
Ted Danson was great.
Crenna?
Yeah, Richard
I love
Crenna.
Crenna.
I know.
He was
He was great
fantastic
too.
in this.
Yeah, so
Great
basically,
movie.
the premise, real quick, it takes place in Florida
Great choice.
during a heat wave.
Great choice.
Yeah, William Hurt
Yeah.
is a lawyer, kind of almost handles a lot of sleazy clients.
Right.
He meets on a whim this beautiful woman who's married to Richard Crenna, and they have an affair.
I
and
love
she-
how he says to her, he says at one point, she says, well, he says, oh, you know what you look like to me? And she goes, what? And he goes, well kept.
Yeah, yeah.
I love that
Yeah.
line. You look well kept.
Exactly.
'Cause that's what she was.
She is, and she was
well
married to
kept.
Richard Crenna, a rich
Right.
guy. She's not happy.
Not
She wants to have an
happy.
affair, and so the gist of the movie is she basically wants all his money, so
This
they
is
want to kill him.
basically,
Double indemnity kind of a thing.
Postman always rings twice,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
A woman cheating on her husband
Yeah.
with somebody and gets that guy to kill her husband.
Exactly.
That's basically what
Yeah, she's a manipulator.
All this is.
And it's just
She's a man
the movie.
eater.
She is, and the movie
Yeah,
takes turns.
absolutely.
Mickey Rourke has a great role as one of his past clients, who's a criminal.
Yeah.
He teaches him to make a bomb that he needs for one
Right.
thing he needs to do. But it's all about how William Hurt gets sucked into this affair.
Yeah.
And they both become infatuated with each other.
know.
And then we
So
see
many great scenes
There's
in
so
this
many
film.
layers of the onion to get unpeeled, and then we see true natures. Without giving too much away.
Yeah.
It's a phenomenal film. Ted Danson's great in this
It's
film.
a very sexually charged
Yeah,
film.
it's got for the time
Great
it has some
scene.
graphic scenes.
I know.
Tame to today's
Well,
standards, but
pretty much,
had a
pretty
couple
much.
good scenes.
I love the scene
Yeah.
when William Hurt is outside the house and she's in there and she's just standing there looking at
Yeah,
him.
yeah, yeah.
And he just breaks down
I love
the
that. The first
window
time they had the first
the
sexual
first
encounter.
sexual
That was
moment.
great.
It was just great stuff.
Yeah, you know what?
This is a scene where he walks up to the gazebo, more
Yes,
or less,
yes.
and he goes, "Hey, lady, wanna fuck?"
Yeah.
And as
And
it
it's
turns
somebody
out,
else.
it's Kathleen Turner's best friend.
Her best friend.
And she goes, "Well, I don't know.
Maybe
what are you offering?
yeah.
What are you offering?" It's
great.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
No, it's really well done. It's
It
well
really
acted.
is. It's just a classic.
Yeah, it's only William Hurt's, I think, third film, maybe fourth.
Possibly so. I think Altered States maybe
That
came
was
before this.
that was his first film.
There you go.
And then he did, I believe, a movie called Eyewitness with Sigourney
Oh,
Weaver.
Sigourney.
And then,
That's a good
then
little
this.
movie.
Yeah, well, it's on my list now. I want to see it.
William Hurt lived right in Pearl River, right in Piermont, New York.
Interesting.
Like, right over there.
Nice,
With Mary Beth Hurt.
Okay.
His first wife,
Nice.
of course, and they were just having
Yeah.
a nice little home there.
That's
And in
pretty
fact, somebody I know at one of my limo companies that I used to work for went and picked up William Hurt, took him to the
Very
airport
nice,
one
yeah.
day. Yeah.
No, he's cool.
I could've done that.
He's always been a good actor.
Yeah.
Like, I can't ever say he was like my favorite, but he's always capable. He
You
always
know,
does a good job.
I kind of think that
You know?
he's undernourished in a way, in a sense where I think he could have been huge.
Bigger than he was.
I think he could have been a big star. I think he should have won an Oscar. I think
He did win an Oscar.
Did he?
Best actor, Kiss of the Spider Woman.
Oh,
Which that's on my list now too.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
almost watched it. I
Oh,
came
you
this close.
should've.
Maybe next week.
Because she's spectacular.
I'm gonna watch. Well, also Raul Julia. That's the reason I almost watched it.
Well,
Raul.
there you go.
Well, that's gonna probably
No.
be something I watch for next time.
And what's her name is in it too? Our deaf girl is in that.
Marley Matlin.
Yeah.
Well, no, I thought she was in. No, she was in Children
you're
of a
right.
Lesser God.
That's right.
With him.
Correct.
Another film that got some
Directed by
acclaim.
Mel. Yeah, both back-to-back years, I believe.
Yeah, pretty much.
Back-
But yeah, this is great.
This is a great
it's a
movie.
really good
Can't
film.
say enough
Great
about it.
debut by Lawrence
Loved
Kasdan
it.
as a director.
Saw it in the theater, what, 81 or so? 80?
I'll tell you right now, Body Heat.
80. Gotta be 80.
81, correct.
81, there you go.
You know what's interesting
I
about
love
this
this
film?
movie.
It takes place during a Florida heat wave.
Yeah.
They actually filmed it when it was cold. So they had to
did they?
put ice cubes in their mouth and all this kind of stuff so they didn't see the breath. They did all these
I think
things.
they put ice cubes in their mouth.
Because otherwise they would see the breath.
Oh,
That
that doesn't
taints
make
it.
sense.
I think that's something like that. I forget.
Ice cubes in your mouth? I mean,
Yeah. Well, no, a lot of times they do that so you don't see the breath. Right?
okay.
Or was it the other way around? Doesn't matter.
It doesn't make
anyway,
any sense at
they
all.
reversed. The season was reversed.
Okay.
It was cold, but they wanted it to be hot,
Okay.
so to make it seem like
Yeah,
a
it
heat wave.
looked hot. I mean,
Yeah, it was great. They sold it
Yeah,
really
he
well.
meets her actually at a
Outdoor
at a
venue,
fair.
a
It's like a
concert.
fair, or like
Yeah.
a fair. And she's leaning up against like a.
Well, they
fence,
start walking
looking
on like
out
a
over the
boardwalk.
lake. Yeah.
Then he
So,
buys her an
over
Italian
the-
ice.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, just great.
highly recommend
Great
Body Heat.
stuff. Fantastic.
It's a classic. It really
If you haven't
is.
seen it,
Check it
you
out.
should yell it yourself.
It's on all the streaming platforms.
Dynamite.
You can watch it on
Dynamite
Amazon and all
movie.
that.
And it's a sexy little movie.
Oh, yeah.
And the ending is a kick.
It's good.
It just goes full circle. I love it.
Really good. All right,
Yeah.
your next choice, we'll tell you right now.
Okay.
Daryl's next choice
4.1.
is over here. What could it be?
I don't know. Oh,
Oh!
It's a double feature.
A twofer.
well, you know.
Are they
I
all
did it-
twofers?
No,
Oh.
just these two.
Okay.
But here's what I did. I did it because
Because you've been in Ava Greenland lately.
I've been in Ava Greenland,
Green.
and that is very true. Not
Yeah.
not Eva Iceland, Ava Greenland.
Ava Greenland.
I love Eva
Yeah.
Green, and ever since I saw the illustrious and
Penny
most
Dreadful.
to
Yeah.
my heart, Penny Dreadful.
She's amazing in
She's
that
so
show.
amazing in that
Incredible.
show. Oh my
Incredible.
God.
Should have gotten an Emmy.
You know, the acting that she starts in the first season, first episodes, then she just gets into
It's
that second
amazing.
season. And by the time she hits the third season, oh my God.
Yeah.
She is just this whole different world of horror and
Yeah.
and empathy and she cries constantly.
Yeah.
There's just such the soul of this woman as she just acts and just performs this role that she has been given, and it's many different roles.
Yeah.
There's almost a schizophrenic feel to everything she does, and I'm so infatuated with her to begin with. I just
Yeah,
always
you've
loved
always
her.
been a
and
fan.
now I'm just in love.
And we're gonna do
madly in love with her now.
pretty soon. As soon as
am.
I'm done watching all 3 seasons, which are on Netflix, of Penny
Yeah.
Dreadful, we're gonna have a whole discussion about it.
Maybe we'll do a whole show on it.
We can do that. That's
We
fine.
can
Yeah,
do
no
a whole
problem.
Penny Dreadful.
But back
maybe
to
it's only a
this.
half an hour, but I don't know. The reason I did this, I went back and watched.
Yeah. This one is the weakest out of all the new ones, I think.
I'll
Quantum.
say something
I don't hate
to
it,
you.
but it's the weakest.
I'll tell you this. I have a whole different opinion of Quantum of Solace since
Yeah?
I watched it back to back. Well, you know, I love Casino Royale.
Yeah.
And Mads Mikkelsen, your favorite
He's
guy,
great.
of course. He's in the film. He plays the bad guy. Eva only enters the show an hour in.
Yeah.
But you know, she's such a dominating force.
She is.
And she's so brilliant, and she's just so. There's just there's an empathy to her. There's just a constant. It's a sadness that,
Yeah.
that, you know. I can't say I see that in Mrs. Peregrine or some of her other things that she's done, but you know, she's a torn character in this.
Yeah.
She's in love with somebody else,
Yeah.
but she meets Bond here, and of course she's overwhelmed by his charms, blah blah blah, and slowly seduced by him. And if you know, this is I don't really feel I'm giving much away. This is an older film, but you know,
It's
we
still
have
great.
A horrifying,
It's a really good film.
You know, Eva dies in this film,
Yes.
and it's just horrible. And for me to sit there and watch her, I tell you, I cried. I literally sat in my home here, and tears rolled.
Yeah.
Because she's, you know, she's reaching out, and she's drowning in an elevator of her own choice. She makes this thing because she can't decide between. She had to lie to our beloved Daniel Craig here in a specific scene involving money that she owed somebody else that had to pay for. So she gave that money and her life for him, so he would not be killed in another scene with Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah.
So it's just a great movie.
It's a really great film.
I love the
agree.
fact that the actual Baccarat game that takes place,
Yeah.
this is like 35 minutes long.
It's a great
It's
scene.
long,
That was a
long
really good scene, yeah.
And we have, he gets killed. He gets killed in that, basically.
Yeah.
One of the scenes, he's poisoned, has to go out, he's dying. He goes out to his car, but of course in his Aston Martin that he has out there, he's going in, he's in, okay, put the two things on the
blah, blah,
electric
blah, yeah.
magnets on your chest and repeat after me, Hail Mary, Hail Mary. No, that's not what they say, but they do say, okay, and now press the red button, and he can't get to the red button. He can't get to it, so he basically dies. And of course, at that particular moment, Eva comes running out, who's now falling in love with him.
Yeah.
And she knows exactly what to do somehow. She holds down the red button and poof, and
Brings
of
him
course
back.
he comes back.
It's
and-
obvious, yeah.
Well, we knew he wasn't going to die. He's
No,
James Bond.
of
It's
course.
the first novel by Ian
Yeah.
Fleming. He couldn't die in the first one.
Yeah.
But Casino Royale was actually the very
It was
first
the first
novel that
appearance.
Ian Fleming
It
wrote.
was, yes.
The first appearance of James Bond in a
Correct.
literary world.
Exactly.
Which is back in like 1957.
Yeah.
So now Quantum of Solace is basically the continuation
Of that
storyline. But
It's one of the. I
all
think it's the
about-
first time that two movies are that connected.
Correct.
Yeah.
Not only that, but it's also the film Quantum of Solace is the representation of how he is unable to grasp his own sadness about the death
Yes,
of Eva Green.
yes, it is.
He is in love with her.
Yeah.
He sacrifices his entire 007 life, and he says, he writes, I quit to the Secret Service, to MI6. I quit. I don't want to be James Bond and I don't want to be 007 anymore. I want to live with this woman forever and make love to her constantly. And ladies and gentlemen, who wouldn't? Who wouldn't want to just
Yeah.
marry Eva Green and make love? There is
True.
I'm not kidding. There is a name, there's a person on Twitter account, and her name is, I want to be suffocated by Eva Green's breasts.
Wow.
That's her name.
That's funny.
I want to be
a woman.
suffocated. It's a woman.
Female profile.
I want to be suffocated by Eva Green's breasts.
Nice.
Yeah. So they made me change
They're laying
it.
it all out on
They
the table.
made me change. No,
But
it wasn't me. No, it truly wasn't me. But every time I see this Twitter account,
That's funny.
I've just been banned from Twitter. By the way, they just threw me off
I'm not
for a week.
surprised. You get banned off everything.
No, they threw me off for a week because there was some guy that was making reference to when Donald Trump was talking about being, how this is a lynch.
Lynching. Yes.
So
yes,
there was
yes.
one guy. He's a senator or a congressman, and he made some reference to, this is a lynch. So then all I wrote was, why don't we hang this guy? Let's hang this guy who's talking about it not being a lynch. Let's hang him. And Twitter went, oh no, you can't say that. You can't say
that's-
something malicious about
That's
somebody like
red
that.
flag.
That is a red flag.
Based on God, that could be technically seen as a domestic threat.
But I wrote, let's hang him, LOL. I mean, give me a break.
I know. Nobody has a sense of humor.
I
anymore.
know, it's so true. But
It
anyway,
sucks.
Quantum of Solace is basically the continuation
Yes.
of the grief of
Yes,
Daniel
it
Craig
is.
as James
I gotta
Bond
give it another watch.
for him.
Yeah, I think I
Now,
will.
I will say this. A lot of people complain about the editing of this film, how bad it is. It's a frenetically paced film, but ignore the first 45 minutes. The first 45 minutes is just car chase, boat chase, another car chase.
Well, the movie fell victim to the writer's strike. They didn't have a script for a lot of it.
Well, there you go.
So Daniel Craig's like, I had to write some stuff. He goes, I'm not a writer.
Yeah.
So that's part
Well,
of.
that's a shame.
They were all a victim of circumstance for this film. So you
Okay.
can't hate the movie, but it's like they did what they could.
Right.
Either we get a Bond movie or we don't.
Right.
So
they opted
it
to
wasn't
take
a
the
horrible
Bond
film.
It's not a horrible film.
It's just the standard was set so high by Casino.
Well, I know. Casino was
How could
so
you-
good.
so good.
But I'll tell you something. Watch it again.
I'm
and
gonna
watch
give it another
and watch
watch.
it back to back with Casino.
Yeah, maybe I'll
I'm
give
not-
it a fresh watch.
I'm not
Yeah.
kidding. It just kind of blends nicely in.
Yeah.
It still carries on. It's still confusing though. There's
Yeah.
a lot of stuff that doesn't make sense here. Great old movie back in the day. I believe Howard Hawks, not Howard Hawks. But it was called The Big Sleep. And I remember The Big Sleep had no script whatsoever. It was just horrible. You didn't know who did what. Everybody was confused. All the critics said, what the hell's going on? It was Humphrey Bogart. Get off your knees, sweetheart. You look like a Pekingese. It's one of my favorite lines of the entire film. Anyway, here's a girl down on her knees. Get off your knees, sweetheart. You look like a Pekingese. I love that line. But anyway, so this film, I loved it. The last 40, it's only an hour 45 minutes long, which is under most Bond films.
I
Over
agree.
2 hours.
Oh, I agree 100%.
2 hours and 8 minutes, whatever.
Yeah.
Hell, Casino Royale, 2 hours and 28 minutes
Yeah,
long.
yeah.
That's a long film.
Yeah, I know.
It really is. And you know what? It flew right by. I loved it.
Great.
I really did. I got to say, Quantum Solace, Casino Royale, they really made sense together. The bad guy in Quantum is just this wimpy little...
I've seen him before. Little
wimpy
beady
little
eyes.
shit of a guy.
Yeah, I
He's
know.
nothing. He wasn't even a good bad guy.
Yeah, I know.
But in the first 45 minutes, just ignore him. It's just fast-paced editing. It looked
Yeah.
like Stevie Wonder edited the
Yeah,
film.
yeah.
You know, it's got a lot of lack of continuity, but it doesn't matter. Once you get past that and you get into the story, it really continues well. I liked it. I liked
Cool.
it. The most I've ever liked Quantum of Solace was just watching
Great.
them back to back again. And I almost would have put in Skyfall. I continued. I'm going to do the whole four
Yeah,
of them. I'm
Skyfall's
doing-
the best.
I'm doing.
So
I
good.
don't think so. I like Spectre.
Yeah.
I love Spectre.
See, I don't like Spectre as much as
I
Skyfall.
know, well, Skyfall was good, but you know what? It had that whole last half of where they
It's over the top.
stupidly go to this mansion where poor what's her name is a sitting duck, where the guy wants to kill him.
I know. Yeah.
Javier wants to kill Javier
Javier
Bardem
Bardem.
wants to kill her.
Yeah.
So what do? They go to a little place with they should have gone to a place with an army around it. They should have gone to, Sudan or something and gotten, Kawagi Mahagi
I know what you're
to
saying.
give them an army or something. No, they go to some stupid mansion castle where it's just him and it's Bond and not Ray Fiennes, somebody else. Somebody else's
Well, no,
brother.
it was the master of the house. Was his
Okay.
Wasn't it what's his name? Edward Finney? Wasn't it
Oh,
Edward Finney? with
I
the
believe
beard?
it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's the three of them.
Yeah.
And so, come on.
Well, maybe they thought nobody's gonna find us here. We're in the middle of
come
nowhere.
on. They
you
find
know?
him. They knew they were coming. They were setting up for him.
No, then I don't
They were
know.
planning the whole thing out. Okay, well, when they come here, we'll blow this up and.
Well, they probably thought they'd have the upper hand, like
man,
Home Alone.
so
you know.
stupid. Yeah, Home Alone.
Anyway, we should move on.
Yeah. Yes. No. Yes, we should move
Okay,
on.
but no, those are good choices.
I
All
loved
right,
it. I
so-
love watching it again. And I even talked about it at dinner tonight.
Oh, you did. That's right.
I did. Okay, so we're now your Christmas
I'm
number
doing
5.
Okay, number 5 is Altered States.
Oh, wow.
I had a little William Hurt Film Fest, not
Good
on
for
purpose.
you.
It just happened
Well, you
that
should
way.
have done this one first.
No, I did it based on newest to oldest. That's how I did it. This is also the order that I saw them in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right,
yeah.
well, that's cool.
Yeah, that's how I
Well, I
watched
thought
broadcast
this-
news first,
all right.
then I watched Body Heat,
interesting.
and then Altered States.
Cool.
Because it was either this or Kiss of the Spider Woman, and I said, you know what, I gotta watch this because I saw this as a kid. But I don't know if I saw the whole thing because the only scene that always was etched in my brain was the last scene in the hallway where he's like,
Oh, yeah.
"Urgh!"
I know, he's turning
Yeah.
into like an organic
Yeah.
amoeba.
It reminded me of something like
Amoeba
out of like
matter.
Tron or something.
I
you
know, right.
That stayed with me as a
was
kid.
great,
That
yeah.
image
Really?
horrified me as a child.
Oh, boy.
And I had to
Well-
go watch the film. There's a Ken Russell film.
Ken Russell film, near
Who
and
had
dear
a-
to my heart. I
he-
love Ken Russell.
He had a very large career before this.
Oh, tell me about it.
I know. But I
The
mean,
guy
to them who
did
might not know.
Tommy.
Yeah, Tommy,
the
amazing, yeah.
Music lovers.
Yeah.
You know, Pete Townsend said, when he said, oh my God, they're going to do a movie on Tommy, I'm going to have to do this, I'm going to have to do that. No. Ken Russell came and said, I have this, I have this, I have this, I have this. And Pete was like, whoa, you've done it all. I don't
Yeah.
have to do anything.
Yeah.
I'm just in the movie with
Yeah.
Roger and the gang. I loved it.
But-
I love
Yeah,
this
this
movie.
is a very trippy film.
It is.
For those who might not know, Altered States is a 1980 film based on a novel by Paddy, what's his house?
Chayefsky.
Chayefsky. He also wrote the novel. The only novel he ever wrote was Altered States.
Right.
And so this film is basically about
Well,
a
didn't
very...
he write, I keep thinking Network.
No, I'm saying this is the only novel he ever wrote.
Oh, okay.
He wrote several screenplays.
Yeah, Network.
Network and The Hospital, all three.
Right, there you go.
Yeah, that, and then also Network, Marty, and The Hospital. All three Oscar-winning screenplays.
Yeah, well, Marty, 1955.
I don't know if there's a screenwriter that has more than 3 Oscars. That's pretty amazing.
No, I bet there is.
Maybe William
but
Goldman. I don't know if he has 3, but
Maybe, well, not Truman Capote, but
what
no.
about? I don't think what's his name ever got an Oscar for writing. Maybe he did. Trumbo, Dalton Trumbo. Did he get one? Maybe.
No, I'm not sure.
Or maybe because of the blacklist he didn't. But regardless,
I'm not sure.
This film is basically about a very
Maybe William Goldman.
Well, that's what I said. Maybe William Goldman.
Oh, did you?
I did,
Okay.
yeah. But this is basically about a very brilliant professor, a scientist at Harvard.
He
who
was
is-
funny, this guy.
He was great.
Yeah.
I'll get to him in a second.
He used to be in Hill Street Blues.
Yeah, and he's a director too. This guy had a bombastic performance in this film.
Yeah, he was good.
He had a presence.
Yeah.
He was amazing.
No, he was.
His name was.
He was in Hill Street Blues back in
Yeah,
the day.
Charles Hayde.
That's him.
Really good in this film.
I know him
That's
well.
the visual from the end. Yeah,
I know.
But this is about a brilliant scientist who gets obsessed with exploring alternate states of consciousness, and he starts.
Goes to this
He goes goes to Mexico.
There's a Jim Morrison peyote thing.
Yeah, and
where
he takes
the peyote.
It's derivative of a mushroom. He drinks
Right,
it,
I
and then he
know.
starts doing it in these sensory deprivation tanks.
So cool.
And then he keeps getting these incredible situations.
What's her name?
Oh, that's Blair Brown.
Blair
Beautiful.
Brown. Oh
She was
my
great.
God. Yeah. I loved her.
So she's his
And
wife.
she was
and
the
she's
it
brilliant
girl.
too.
She was the it girl of the
For a little
day.
while, yeah, she was.
For a while,
Yeah.
she was in a lot of stuff. She was in a movie with Gene Hackman.
Oh, she's in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, she was in a movie on a train with Gene Hackman. There's a murder on a train, and she was great.
Are you thinking of Narrow Margin?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good film.
And
Yeah.
that was a remake of an old 40s film.
Yeah, she was good. But
Yeah, she was.
so William Hurt starts believing that his consciousness is regressing
Right.
to almost a caveman state at times.
And he has the ability to now, because of the
Yeah.
effects of the drug,
Yeah.
he now has the ability to physically change.
It's incredible.
So cool.
Yeah, his
So
chromosomes
dynamite.
reverse, and then he's running around New York in the zoo eating. He breaks into the zoo at night, eats a goat.
Just thought
a
it would
sheep.
be, you know what this would be a good double feature with? Split.
It would be.
With James
Split's
McAvoy.
a good little film.
There
yeah.
you go.
Yeah.
And it's got the same kind of
Kind
an
of, a little
essence
bit,
where
yeah.
he kind of changes and
Yeah,
turns.
that's
and
all multiple personality.
His
but
characters
it does
change him
the
physically
physical form. Yeah.
As James McAvoy
Yeah.
becomes this muscular wacko
Yeah.
running through the streets.
But this is a
This is
very,
a cool film.
very visual film.
Oh, God.
It's kind of jarring at times. It's a little frightening. A couple times I jumped. A little
yeah.
frightening at times.
No, I love
when
it.
he first appears as that cave guy. Oh, he jumps out. I jumped.
I love the first scene when she makes love to Blair Brown. He makes love to
Oh,
Blair
yeah,
Brown.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
she says, you know, it wasn't like making love. It was like being skewered by a harpoon.
That was great. That's a good line.
I
Yeah.
thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, no, this was
I like him in the tanks
He's in
here.
the tanks.
So
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, this was William Hurt's film debut.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
know.
big,
just
big.
outrageous.
He had a
He's so
really good start with his career.
Oh, he really did.
Yeah.
Well, you know, he had a lot of faith. Ken Russell put a lot of faith in him.
did.
And believe it or not, right
did.
after Body Heat,
Yeah.
Ken Russell directed Kathleen Turner in a
And
film
yes,
called Crimes of
Crimes of
Passion.
Passion, he
And
did.
you got to go back and watch that
Yeah,
film
sure.
again.
What's on my list? I haven't
watched-
seen it. Yeah.
I just watched it maybe 2 months ago. You know, it was a kick. It was fun.
I was reading that behind the scenes of the making of this film, a lot of tension between Patty, how do you say his last name? Chayefsky, the writer,
Yeah.
and Ken Russell, to the point that the studio was getting pissed at
You know,
Ken
I
Russell
kinda
because Ken
recall
Russell
that. Yeah.
was drunk the whole time.
Was he?
And he became, from what I read, he became somewhat of a pariah in the industry and never got back to the status that he was, and was
Well,
making a lot of smaller films after that.
That's very true.
Yeah. And
You
so
know, he did a lot of.
he was worshipped at a period of time.
Oh my God!
60s?
Well,
you know?
no, not the '60s, but you can go back to
70s?
the '70s. Yeah, that's when he kind of really started.
Yeah.
His first great film, of course, The Music Lovers. Glenda Jackson nominated for Best Actress for that film. Richard Chamberlain as Tchaikovsky. What a film! But then he did a great movie with Oliver Reed and Vanessa Redgrave called The Devils.
The Devils, yes.
And I've
You gave me
mentioned
that
The
film.
Devils.
Yeah, I'm going to
Oh
watch
my
it now.
God.
And now I have an impetus
you
to watch
gotta
it.
Check it out.
Yeah, I have it.
That film is so bizarre.
I'm gonna watch that
But
one.
that's not Ken at his best. I think this is Ken at his best. I love
This is a
Ken
great film. I
when
really
he's
like
just
this movie. Yeah.
hallucinogenic. Ken is
It's
Tommy.
nuts. Yeah.
I think Tommy's a masterpiece.
I've never seen it.
Oh, really? Oh, God,
Here's
you gotta
why.
be kidding.
Here's why. I really don't like The Who. I don't like The Who at all.
You're nuts.
Not a fan of their music whatsoever.
Oh, you're crazy.
At all. I hear Pinball Wizard, change the channel.
No,
not
the
a
hell with
fan.
Pinball Wizard.
Not a fan of any of that stuff.
You're not hearing nothing. You don't know anything about
Anything
that.
I've heard on the radio, I don't like it.
Well, listen to Tommy. The
Yeah.
whole opera is fantastic.
Yeah, I guess I have
No,
to.
you
Don't
really
care
should.
for it.
You're not giving them fair because Pete is magnificent, and my friend John Covert out there, who is one of the biggest Who fans in the history
Yeah.
of the world.
Yeah, I know.
I know, John. I know you're cringing right now. But,
Sorry, just not.
terribly sorry.
Two bands I don't like:
Yeah,
The Who and Kiss. I hate Kiss more.
Well, Kiss.
I don't hate The Who.
Please.
I hate Kiss.
Can't even say them
Can't
in the
stand
same
Kiss.
sentence.
No, but I'm just saying there are
Oh,
two
you're
bands that
ashamed.
just hit me the wrong way.
Ashamed
Just
yourself.
never liked The Who. Never liked them.
No. They're so diverse.
I know.
Pete Townsend has 5 solo albums out that are all fantastic.
Yeah.
Roger Daltrey has loads of solo albums out. John Entwistle was
I'm not questioning their talent.
I mean, no.
Just
they
not
are
my taste.
Spectacular. Oh God, I could give you loads of Who music that you would adore. You know, Won't Get Fooled Again.
I know that song.
You don't like that song?
That's okay. It's not,
on
it's not a
every
bad
single,
song.
Who are you?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it. I'm just not a fan of that
Well,
song.
okay.
I've heard it way too many times.
Well, that's the
part of the problem too.
Okay. Well, Pinball Wizard. I happen to love Pinball Wizard.
not
I
a
love
fan.
that song. See, but I grew up with Tommy. Tommy was
Yeah, that
such
was-
a major thing. Came out in 1970.
Yeah.
69, 70.
Yeah.
It was a major thing for me. So much that I wanted to go to Woodstock to see The Who there. But I was close, but you know, the thruway was backed up. There was a 3-day
You never
wait.
would have gotten there. Yeah,
I never
exactly.
went out there. My wife went.
I know, you told me she was there.
Lynn went.
That's pretty
she
cool.
handed Country Joe of Country Joe and the Fish.
Yes.
Yeah, give me an F. She handed him his guitar before he went on stage.
Pretty great.
She was sitting on the stage there.
That's pretty
She was
cool.
kind of looking, and you know,
Nice.
she's just there, and
Women can get away with a lot.
women can get away with anything.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
But back to the film. I really, really highly
love this
recommend
film.
this movie.
Oh, I
really
love this movie.
was.
It's a
it just
trip.
was. Yeah, it was a trip.
a total
It
trip.
really got me. I was really
yeah.
into it.
Oh, it's a riveting piece of
the
work.
only complaint, if it's a complaint,
Okay.
I just felt that it was the ending was just like, okay, we're done. Like right after that scene in the hallway, done. But I understand why.
Yeah, but
because
see-
it's a love story.
Well, no,
And we get,
yes, and
he
love-
crosses a bridge
like a
and he's
racerhead.
able to
Love is the guiding force.
and he's
that
able to
gets him-
finally
Correct.
give her what she wants.
Well-
he's able to express how he feels.
Well, he's
for the
able
first
to
time.
put all the other
Yeah.
creations,
Yeah.
if you will, the other forms of himself.
Yeah.
For love, he
He's
gets
he's
into it.
finally kind of be able to move on, and
Exactly.
and I understand why. I just
No,
kind
it's
of felt
well
like,
done.
oh, we're done. I kind of wanted more.
Okay.
but it's a really great film.
It is a great
and
film.
you can watch it. It's
And I love the ending. I love the ending.
I don't
I
hate
can
it.
understand where you'd want
Yeah.
more because it's so.
But it's such a
cool.
great film.
I mean, look at this scene here.
Yeah,
This
that
scene
was
alone,
amazing. He goes
where
there.
He takes the
yeah,
coyote.
That was great.
Fantastic.
No, it's a great film. I loved it.
dynamite.
It's on the streaming platforms. Definitely check it all.
Oh, check it out. It's so bizarre.
I'm glad I finally went to watch the whole thing.
Good for you.
Because as a kid, all that stood out to me was that.
Yeah.
So I can't say if I ever saw the whole movie, but
do.
I remember that one scene.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's move on to your last two choices. I know you have two.
I do.
So we're gonna go to Daryl 5.1,
Okay.
followed by Daryl 5.2.
Oh, okay.
And we have here.
Aha.
Oh, this is
Vivre Sa Vie.
the French film you were telling
This
me
is
about.
a French film.
I knew you were doing a
and
French
it stars
film.
this wonderful, wonderful woman whose name eludes me, which it shouldn't. But she is a French actress, and she is amazing. This film is so cool. It's a film by Jean-Luc Godard. He's a
Godard,
very
yes.
famous
the
director back
biggest.
in the day, one of the most famous, him and
1962
Francois Truffaut
Criterion.
and so forth. It is a 62
Yeah.
film. This film is so weird and so strange. It's a short little movie. It's done in 12 parts, 12 chapters,
That's cool.
if you will.
Is this part of the French New Wave?
Absolutely.
I thought so.
There's a lot. The film opens up, and all we really see are the back of heads. We see
Vivre Sa
people's-
Vie, isn't that life? Like live
Vivre,
life?
Vivre
live
Sa Vie.
life. Right.
I believe it is live
Yeah.
life. Vivre Sa Vie. No, Viva la.
Sa Vie?
Well,
Isn't Sa Vie the day?
I don't know.
The life?
Not sure. Well,
Whatever.
V is
V-
life.
yeah, V-
C'est la vie. That's
C'est la-
life.
yeah.
Vivre. Yeah.
So live life.
There
Yeah,
you go.
yeah.
But anyway, it's a young woman, and she wants to be an actress. Basically, the premise of this, there is an arc in this film. You'd have to call this film a tragedy, but it's hilarious at times. It's just a very simple, beautiful woman
Yeah.
who has very little confidence in her looks.
Yeah.
She wants to be a movie star. I just love the technique that this film is filmed in.
Mm-hmm.
It's just people, the camera is like a third person here, but
Yeah.
a third person that has no concept of how to watch a scene. So we have a lot of stuff where the camera will just be on the guy and the back of his head while he's talking to her, and then the camera might move over to the back of her head, and they're sitting at a diner talking to each other. But it's not just that. There are moments like that. But it's basically about her story and how she wants to be. She works in a record store, which is a very big thing
Yeah.
back in those days. A lot of young, beautiful girls worked in record stores because eventually famous people would come in and they
Of
would
course,
get
yeah.
met there. So, and basically, she evolves into her life in the movies, and she keeps going to agents and finding these guys that will meet with her, and she will have, sometimes she'll have an affair with that person or whatever. We're not really clear on that, but there is sex involved here. And then very slowly, she kind of realizes that the only way, and all her girlfriends who she knows, they're all just now, here she is leaning up against a street. She has now become a prostitute.
Oh,
because
sad.
that is, well, vivre sa vie. That's life. She's living her life.
Yeah, yeah.
But, and look how cute she is. She's just adorable.
She almost looks like Maria de Medeiros from Pulp Fiction, Bruce Willis's girlfriend.
Oh, okay. Yeah, a little bit.
Similar look.
She's far more beautiful.
No, I
than
can
her.
tell, yeah.
Far more beautiful. This girl is a knockout. And she later went on to do a cabaret show. She's been in many films. She's working right up to today.
Yeah.
She's doing films maybe like up to 2017. but she's still active. She's still beautiful. I love that. I really like this
I've
film.
seen this film in when there used to be video stores.
Yeah.
I remember the poster vividly.
Really?
Oh yeah, from the foreign section.
Vivre Sa Vie?
Yes, very
Oh,
much.
there you go. But just a cool little
No, it looks
flick
cool.
and wonderful.
Cool.
I really enjoyed it. The ending is absurd and so stupid, but I didn't care. It makes it a tragedy, which of course there
Now,
was.
was this? Have you seen this more than once?
No.
Oh, so this is the first time
First
you've
time
seen
I
it.
saw it.
Oh, okay, cool.
No, I just sat. It's a very short little film,
Good.
but I still watched it over a period of nights.
Okay.
With most Criterion films, when you turn it off and you go back, there's always a, do you want to continue? Do you
I
want
like that, yeah.
Do you want to continue where you left off? This film did not do that,
Mm.
which is very odd because this is a brand new Blu-ray of this
Because
particular.
most Blu-rays now automatically have that feature also.
Well,
regardless
quite a
of
few.
Criterion.
Very true. Very
That was the big difference.
Yeah.
That
Resume.
came from Blu-ray
Resume,
to
yes,
regular
no.
DVD.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
this film doesn't. So you have to go chapter by chapter. So, and now, there's also a wonderful little moment. There's a great movie out there I hope many of you have probably not seen, and it's called The Passion of Joan of Arc. And this film stars as supposedly the greatest performance by a female
heard that, yeah.
in the history of film. And this is a woman, this is a silent film, I
Yes.
believe 1927,
It's a silent film, I know that,
28. And it is a knockout. This woman, she finds out she's Joan of Arc. She's being kept in a, and she goes to see this film during the film, and is motivated by Joan of Arc. And it's half of the reason why she wants to take the chances that she ends up trying to take and failing. And realizing that prostitution is really the only way. Yeah. And then she kind of gets into the lifestyle, and I won't go any further than that.
Cool.
But it's so bizarre. She's sitting in this movie theater, and we watch The Passion of Joan of Arc.
That's been shown in other movies too.
It has indeed.
Yeah.
You know, and I just saw another film. You know, it's just like Quentin Tarantino. You know, showing the Sharon Tate movie with the Dean Martin thing within the the Sharon Tate Dean Martin film. They do
Yes.
while she goes into the theater to watch the audience's
Yes,
reaction.
yes.
Margot Robbie goes in to watch the audience's reaction of her film, and that was the real Sharon Tate, however. Playing,
Which was kind of jarring in a way. Yeah.
It was kind of odd because we had just had the scene with Leonardo playing Steve McQueen in The Great Escape, where he did substitute his body into the film.
Well, he was talking about how he was almost in that film. Yeah.
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 Right, which of course is bullshit.
Of course.
It's just part of the
It is, yeah.
the mirage of
Yes.
someday in Hollywood.
Yeah.
But regardless, I really did care for this movie.
Cool.
It's just
No, it sounds
bizarre as
interesting.
hell. It's just off kilter. It is new wave, absolute. You know, it's just la cinema is life. You know, you can just see the
Yeah.
directors, sitting there drinking, 5 gallons of wine.
Exactly.
And just going, hey, cinema is life. And
All right.
so now
Let's jump
we get
to your-
more cinema.
Your last
Another
choice here?
Criterion film, ladies and gentlemen.
Your final film.
Finally
here?
watched it. It is in fact.
Oh, Medium Cool.
And I watched this.
So you had this film already.
Take a look at this man.
We touched on Robert Forster a couple weeks ago when he died.
Look at this guy. Now we know what Robert Forster looks like as an older man.
Yeah.
Right? Now this is Medium Cool. This is a film directed by
Haskell Wexler. Yes.
who went on to be
A big DP.
a big DP, big
Cinematographer.
director, photographer.
Yeah.
A lot of Woody Allen. I believe he did. Vilmos Zsigmond worked with Bergman, and then he worked with Woody Allen. I think Haskell might have done some films with Woody.
No, he's worked with a lot.
But
I'd have
think
to look it up.
Who
But he worked
directed
with
The
a lot.
Godfather? I think Vilmos did. I think Vilmos Zsigmond might have done The
Maybe,
Godfather.
I'm not sure. I have to look.
Anyway, this is basically a film, Robert Forster, and this is why I watched it. I've had the film for years, sitting on my stack here. Well, not maybe years. I think the Blu-ray just came out within the past year. But look at Robert Forster here.
Yeah.
There's a cross between. He almost looks like an Asian Burt Reynolds. He's such a striking looking guy.
Yeah.
And it's so bizarre when you see him as an older man. His eyes are now, he must have had an eye job because he really has very Asian.
Yeah, I mean, he could have had the standard,
have.
let's get rid of the crowfeet
He
thing,
must have. He
Facelift.
must have had his eyes done because he just looks so different. That he's a striking looking human being, and it's him. And it's they work for a news station, and they're going around. And this is actually filmed during the Chicago riots back in
Interesting.
1968.
Okay.
When Mayor Daley was at the Democratic convention
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
and we had riots in the street.
That was during the Abby Hoffman thing, right?
Correct. And
Chicago 7.
I'm not quite sure whether these are actual policemen in the film. Now, I know you and I have discussed the fact that these days every person that's on film has to have a written notice,
Release form. Yeah.
a release form that they release the fact that yes, you can use my image in a film. Back in these days, this
Probably not.
Hacksaw Wexler is just going down the street filming all kinds. People are waving out, going, "Yeah, the peace sign, mother." Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But this movie is so bizarre. It's so abstract in a sense. It basically is just trying to. It's a media-driven film. It's just as relevant today as it was all those years ago in 1968, and it's really, really true. It's just basically about how we are all manipulated by the media, and how the media is God, because it's all we see. It's all we know. All we know is to turn on our television.
They control the narrative.
And they control the narrative. But of course, when you're watching Donald Trump cry at a baseball game,
Because they're booing him.
you know that there's no manipulation of narrative there. There's just the image
that's
will
raw footage,
often
raw video.
speak for itself.
Yeah.
So that is no fake news. That's truth. And the shot, the filmed eye that is between that photographer, and I love one scene where he's just walking around and he goes, "I love shooting film." He's just like that. And there's a young woman in the film with her son. Her husband has gone to Vietnam and died, or he's disappeared, whatever. We believe he's dead. She has a young son, and she's befriended by Robert Forster here. They kind of become close, and then they, it's not really concrete what his relationship is with her. It's not really even important. But it is important that it's all filmed basically amongst this, just this constant jarring chaos that is constantly going on. There's the threat. They go to one particular black household where there's, I don't know how far we are into our show.
Well, we should wrap it up very soon.
We're going to wrap up right
an
after
hour, I
this.
think.
But they go to a black household, and the black guys are talking right to the camera going, "Listen, you say what you are because you're white, and you don't know what it is to be me. You don't know what it's like to be my life. You don't know who I am." Because at one point Robert Forster says, yeah, I can relate to that. He said, "No, you can't relate to that because you're not me. You're not me living in my body, my life."
Yeah.
And it's exactly true, and that's the truth of all beings on this planet. We are all just simply within these bodies, and we see things from the perspective that our bodies give.
Of course.
And then film is another whole eye of all those bodies and
Yeah.
all that life, all just kind of thrown together in this hodgepodge. And I think Haskell kind of pulls it off. And I love the final
I'd like to
shot
see
in the
this.
film. The final shot in the film is just Haskell Wexler. He's just sitting there and he's kind of filming all this stuff. Robert Forster's trying to find her in the crowd. They've lost each other. They've got little walkie-talkies, him and his other buddy, who's played by a famous guy who was in some Clint Eastwood movies. I don't know his name. It's not important. He's kind of a weird-looking guy who plays his buddy, his fellow news filmer, news cinematographer.
Yes.
And this woman, though, her name is Vera something or other, and she's just so plain looking, and yet at the same time she's gorgeous. I can't describe it. There's a great beauty to her, and she's just very simple. But I loved her. I found myself very attracted to her sitting there watching this film. Please don't ask me why. Please don't ask me. But I just found her to be very alluring. There was just something about this woman, and Haskell Wexler obviously adores her too because he used her in the film, and we see her in so many different modes. But basically, this is just about the media.
Cool.
And medium cool. And the word media is actually used by Robert Forster. I didn't even know the word media had existed in those days, back in 1968. I really did not. But it's a really unique little piece of work. I can't say it's a movie for everybody, because it is so abstract. We're jumping around a lot. There's not a real coherent storyline. The storyline involves too many interviews with random people that seem to be real and seem to be apparent in their own conceptions upon what the media is. And I know that just sounds odd, but it's really true. There's just a whole sense of absolute perpendicular misdirection, and how we are all consumed by that camera, that we see everything. You and I.
Camera sees everything.
Everything. Look at how it's taken
It doesn't
over our
lie.
lives.
I know.
Every movie, every film, every image that is ever seen is not seen through our eye. It's seen through the filmmaker. And, you know...
And then you got everything in the world in general that's being filmed at all times by people's phones. That's capturing things.
Well, that's another story.
It's a whole other element of it.
I kind of put that
you know?
in almost that selfie kind of mode. That doesn't even count to me. But, I mean, it does count when you're filming...
It's capturing important things.
Well, if you're filming a cop who is...
abusing somebody.
Abusing a young black man.
Or you capture, plane crash or something, things like that.
Of course. Yeah,
a lot of it is bullshit.
Yeah,
look at my cat jumping off the counter.
Yeah, exactly.
But we should move on to...
Right.
Unless you have final thoughts.
I'm really done. I like
it sounds really good.
I like this film. It's a 3-star movie. It so wants to be a 4-star movie, but it's not. But I just wanted to go back. Robert Forster just passed away about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I just had to go back, and I did it more as an homage to him, and just because I just adore the guy. He's wonderful. We just had him in El Camino with the sequel to Breaking Bad, the movie with Jesse Aaron Paul.
Yeah.
And I'm
glad you watched
I love him so much.
Me too.
I really love the guy.
I'll miss him.
Yeah, I will too. But I mean, he's just an image to be. He's so, as I say, it's like a Burt Reynolds gone Asian.
It's kind of cool.
He's a very great individual.
He is. And now at least we can go back and, from time to time, see a lot of the early work that maybe a lot of us haven't seen, including this.
And this was a film I probably would not have watched.
Had he not passed
away.
Exactly.
Yeah, I wanted to go back and give him bit of my time.
I'm glad you did.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm just going to quick, just touch on what's coming out this week, because we do have a couple big releases, starting with, we'll be reviewing next week, Terminator, Dark Fate, which is somewhat of a reboot. It's a direct sequel to Part 2.
Right.
And from what we hear from critics and things like that, it's a return to form to the franchise. So I'm excited to see it. Opening November 1st, for only a 30-day run in theaters, is The Irishman.
Not even.
New
27 days.
27 days. The...
New Martin Scorsese.
The new Martin Scorsese epic is a 3.5-hour gangster film focusing on Jimmy Hoffa and some other characters that entered his life.
Is that right?
Yeah, Pacino plays Jimmy Hoffa.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and they're saying it's an Oscar nomination in bag.
I've heard that.
And it's going to be on Netflix on the 27th of November.
3.5 hours long.
3.5 hours. It only has a short run, 27 days in theaters. Very limited release, because the big chains don't want to take this movie. They don't like that it's going to be on Netflix so soon.
Well, not only that,
so it's,
but I think it's more put on there just to do a... who's the guy who won Best Picture last year, or was it 2 years ago? The black and white film that was the Netflix production, the Spanish.
Oh, last year.
Was that last year?
Well, last year was nominated. They won Best Foreign Film.
No.
You're talking about Alfonso Cuarón.
I'm talking about...
That didn't win Best Picture. It won Best Foreign Film.
What's the film
because
that won
Green
Best
Book
Picture?
won Best Picture.
I realized. The year before. Netflix. Black and white.
No, that was the same year.
No.
Yes.
Oh,
last year, because everybody was saying that Roma was going to win Best Picture.
I thought Roma did
but they
win.
gave it Best Foreign Film instead.
You're quite right.
Which makes sense.
No, you're right.
No,
yeah, great.
It's only got a brief release in theaters to qualify for the Oscars.
For the Academy Award.
They're doing a month-long run at a Broadway theater, following a Broadway schedule. That's pretty cool.
Great.
Yeah.
I'd love to go see it there.
I know, but I'm not driving in and paying tolls and parking.
Take your bus in, man.
I could. Maybe I will. Probably
Take
not.
your bus the night you go to your class.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe...
Well, I'd have to blow up my class.
Exactly.
Actually, they probably don't even do it because it's Mondays. Theaters are dark, probably, most likely.
No,
on Mondays.
not only Broadway theaters.
This is a Broadway theater.
No. I'm talking Broadway movie.
No,
will not be dark.
Yes, this is following a Broadway performance schedule.
Oh, really?
It's not going to be playing 5 times a day. 8 shows a week. Period. That's it.
Well, it can at 3.5 hours.
Yeah. Anyway, that looks good.
Good.
This is coming out. I probably won't see it right away on video. Maybe.
It almost looks like an action.
It looks good though. Harriet Tubman. It looks really good.
It looks like an action.
It does a little bit.
Makes her look like hey. Well, ain't no way we're gonna do that.
Yeah, this looks good. I want to see this. Starring, written and directed by Edward Norton, Motherless Brooklyn.
Right.
Looks really good. He plays a guy with Tourette's, which is tough to pull off without being a parody.
Yeah.
So I give him credit if it comes off good. And then we got this, just for the kids. I'm not going to see it. Arctic Dogs. A lot of voices. Jeremy Renner, James Franco, John Cleese.
Who cares?
Alec Baldwin. I could give a shit about
Screw
this movie.
this
I only
movie.
mentioned it because it's a noteworthy release.
Blow it off.
For kids.
I wouldn't even put it
And
on.
that's it. So that's our show, folks. We'll see you next week with reviews, definitely of Terminator, and a lot of other fun stuff.
We'll be interviewing the actual
We are
Terminator.
going to be interviewing a nice robot next week.
That's right.
The
Next
endoskeleton.
week, the endoskeleton will be here live.
All right, we'll see you then, guys.
Actual exoplasmic plasticine.
It's the endoskeleton. That's what it's called.
He's got the red eyes. He's here.
You're going to love it.
We're going to interview him.
We're going to do that. So we'll see you guys next week for that. Thanks.
Louie, where are you?
Bro. Yeah, what's going on? Yeah, let's just